Okay. Okay, so last time we left off, so this is our NR2003 track from almost nothing. Um, the last time we left off, we had we drew the track layout. We set a bunch of X sections, and I kind of went through some the way like how I do the sandbox folder structure, what some segments are, and sandbox crashed a few times. And we also did some I did some laps around our little track here. You may notice I actually have this display sort of more visible, so hopefully some of this will be a little bit easier to go along. Hello, Nas, how are you? Or if you do, or if you're okay with me using your name on live, let me know. Because there's some people that don't like that, and there are some people that do. So we're gonna. So I'm just gonna go through like a quick a bit about like what we have in the folder structure. I've had a long week, so and I've had a long like a lot happened to me this week, and a lot of it's really good. So like if I sound like disoriented or anything like that, you know, don't think too much of that. Okay, Chrissy. So there's a couple of things that we're gonna do, and now may notice this is not the actual folder that we had set aside here. This is the Gothenburg's track. Now that I edited for Master Cup, and there's a reason why I'm going back in here. We're gonna get some fun stuff. We're gonna get some track surface decals, and specifically, we're gonna start with that because those are the easiest. So I just want to point something out. In a lot of tracks I made, there are these. You'll see these in like the track folder if you care to like dig around, like fluid underscore something. These are mostly completely original. I say mostly because I have to clarify that, because mostly completely original MIPS. There's a couple of them where like the outline of the grime stain or whatever is from another game, but and it's usually Deus Ex, knowing me, but that's good to hear. But I just want to point out that these I consider these, like, for some people who are maybe a bit apprehensive of taking some totes original donut steel types of things. These at least are, I'm pretty sure all 13 of these, because Grime 2 is missing because it's in another track folder probably. All these are fair game. I can say with utmost certainty. So we're gonna put these in here. And you may notice this is not in the track mat folder because these aren't track materials. These are track surface decals. And we're gonna also go into track map because we're gonna do the most obvious track surface decal of all. So I'm gonna copy paint line from track mat to here. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Hello, Nikki. So we're going back to here. So first, we got to ask ourselves, what is a track surface decal? We go to view, track surface decals. We're gonna zoom in on. This isn't exactly where the start finish line is, but it's close enough. And I'm gonna bring this little guy up here because this is gonna be helpful with that. So I'm gonna right click. I just noticed that this might be a little bit. Yeah, but we want to at least be able to see that in the background. Right click, add track surface decal. Now, first you see this window, and you see 2 periods before the slash. Now, I don't know if any of you have worked with like shell scripting or anything of the sort, but but when you see like 2 periods like that, that means one level up, one directory level up. So I want to illustrate this. So we're working out of this folder, right? Tracks, Cynon area, Cynon area. One level up is going to be here. and then when it goes to shared, it looks in here. This is why I did. I'm gonna get into why I did this, because when we had I didn't really touch on this one in the previous stream. So the reason why we do this is because otherwise, if we were to work out of work out of this folder, it's gonna go up one. This would look for things up one level and in shared, which there's like various shared data updates that other people have done, and that can cause some like memory. It's like a memory issue, I think. It's something that I've had a lot of issues with before, and doing it this way kind of alleviates that, because the only things that are being looked at are what's in this shared dat. Because when it goes up one level, it now has access to every other folder here, which in my case, that's a lot. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one like that. So again, just doing it like this is fine. And then of course, when we're done with the track, then we can get rid of this if we need to. So I wanted to just point out that like you can avoid a lot of problems with Sandbox just with how you set up the workspace. So now that I've gotten through that little spiel, I'm gonna go here. So you see we have everything that's gonna be in the shared shared folder. These are all textures in there. We don't care about any of this. We're gonna go straight to the bottom. You see, we can even use this as a track surface decal if we want, because what is good to use for a track surface decal? Literally anything. Literally anything as long as it's a MIB file, a valid MIB file. But we're gonna select paint line. Now we're gonna see down here. We want this to be our start finish line, and I realized I picked the yellow one, but you know, whatever. Those are usually white. So, oh wait, no, actually, I think I'll use the yellow one for something else. But let me get a white one. Track mat, paint line, LW. Yeah, okay. We're gonna use the yellow one for something else. Add track surface decal, all the way to the bottom. Okay, so we're gonna. All right, so D-long. This is how far in front of the start finish line this is. So you may watch the D-long thing in the bottom left corner. When we cross where the start finish, like where the lead segment is, the pink, it's now yellow, going across here, you'll notice that switches to 0. It'll switch to 0 and then back, right? So what we're going to want with D-longs, if we're going to put something for the start finish line, 0. Simple. Length, this is one dimension, and we can kind of just work out that it's, you know, that dimension and not the other. It doesn't really make a huge difference. With our painted lines by the side of the track, I think are, how wide are these? I don't remember. I'm just going to go to geometry edit and check. 6, I think they're a quarter, yeah. Okay, so another thing we got to do, because I just opened this for the first time today. Unlock all geometry. So 0.25 or quarter of a meter, half a meter, whatever. I'm going to make this twice as wide because it's the start finish line. And now we're going to make this as wide as the track is, which I think is 12 meters exactly. Or it's close. Yeah, I think it is. Or if it's not, it's close too. So now, yeah, we just, you know, it's rotating it. D-lat over here, this is how close to the center line it is. If it's going to be the start finish line, we want to span the whole track. So obviously we make that 0 as well. And from here, this is where this is annoying, but it's, actually we got it pretty close in the first try here. But, so the idea is, you know, you'd switch back and forth with the start finish line just to make sure you lined it up properly. I think this is pretty close. We're going to zoom in just a little bit. Z is in, X is out, and C is the center of the view on where my mouse is, just in case you forgot. Those are the only keys I use for navigating. Now you may notice there's this like kind of black part of the texture painted line here. So I appear to have put these on the opposite ends of the track. It doesn't really matter. You can switch the file names around and it'll correct itself. But yeah, see, here's where we're gonna see the line looked a little bit off. I'm gonna move it back to 110. That's good enough. Okay, so there's our start finish line. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done, and this song is annoying. I don't like it. 1 second. Okay, no, that was okay. That was nothing. That was just something I needed to know. I'll just go back to what I was listening to last week. Okay, so we have our grid. This is going to be just like a starting grid stripe. Racing line would, pole position would normally be on the racing line that's going to be on the right side of the track. So, now for D-long, we're going to, track length is 2739.93. I don't care to look up what the actual FIA specifications are. I'm just going to do... No, you look fine. You really do. So, D-lat from the center line, I'm going to put this at -3. Okay, because, yeah, that would be halfway between the center line and 6. I'm going to probably repurpose this because I have a better trackside decal to use for grid stalls, but you would just repeat that, of course, if you want to do that, or if you want to steal a different like grid stall thing that has, you know, more than just one stall at a time. That's fine, but that's just kind of a basic thing. Now let's go to something where you don't really have to orient it, or you don't, and like let's push the limits here. I'm gonna back up a little bit, and I'm gonna put, where's our guy? Yeah, 4. Okay, so this is just a dark stain. What is this? I don't care. It's just a discoloration. So we're gonna, now the maximum length you can put for our length or width is 99, I believe. Yeah, 99.9. So this is the largest you can make a track surface decal. You obviously are probably never, if you ever have something this big, you're doing something wrong. Just straight up, then this is something that should not be a track surface decal. And I do a lot of really exotic shit with this before, so, and obviously with something like this, it doesn't really matter how we orient it. It can be as big as like the smallest thing is like 0.001 or something like that, which obviously you probably shouldn't be doing something that big anyway, but 0.25 is, you know, small enough where you might barely notice it. Theoretically, could you make a massive MIP with like 20 different slots? Yes. Okay, so Chrissy, so in Gothenburg, I have actually like a grid, like actual starting grid thing. I'm gonna go get that actually. Thing is, I don't remember what that image is called. So before I do that, I'm just gonna finish with this. Make the length 1, width 2. So if you want to make this look like maybe it's like a tire streak in the pits or something, fine. There's better ones to use than this exact one, but you get the basic idea. I'm gonna go fish that one thing out though. So, what's the better one to use for grid stall? Here's the thing: is I don't remember exactly what the file name was, and I also didn't make this one originally. So give me just a minute here to find it. You know, there's an easy way to do this. And it's not even to open it up, it's faster than that. Well, I would be opening it up, but not in Sandbox. I'm gonna open it in 3D SimEd, which is a godsend, to put it lightly. It's a very good piece of software, and it doesn't work with just NR. It works with even like with just NR. It works with like the Codemasters F1 games, R Factor, GTR, I think. Lots of different stuff. Do I have it here? Or no, actually this is the one track I think I don't have it on because I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one track it's not on because I forgot to put it there. It's on it's on France though. I forget sometimes what I put stuff on. Shit. So sorry if I'm like derailing everything for some other people, but I'm now like in the mode where if I forget to do this now, I'm going to I'm going to have you know, I'm gonna like just give myself fits. So this is Booty Bambo, which is a track. I don't remember the original author's name off the top of my head, but this is a fantastic track that I have edited several times for the TM Master Cup Series Round of France. This track is an absolute banger. It is probably my favorite, one of my favorites. Grid 4, that's it. Of course, it'd have an obvious name. Grid 4. I'm just going to copy this one over because I know there's one with an empty slot on the back, but I don't care. This particular graphic, this Grid 4 that I just copied in here, this one is, I don't remember the original author of this, but I'm just giving you a heads up. This one I think is going to be like, this one have to be 10 or something, yeah. Oh no, this is half the grid, yeah. That's right, that's what this one is. Yeah, sometimes you just kind of forget this stuff. 20. Or no, this one had to be long. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this one had to be longer. There's another one I have that it's on that I have on Golden State. That's it has like the grid stalls ahead with like the motorcycle stalls. Someone's annoying me at the moment, I think on DMs. So this is one option. I'm gonna go get that. Let me I'll check it later. I'm not seeing my thing pop, like it's not like really dry. No, it can wait. Morgan, I really don't want to deal with your shit right now. Just kidding. Alright, one thing I always thought would be cool, but green white checkered version of a track and make an F section that's dirt or something that's like speedy dry and put decals on the F section, make it look dusty. Okay, yeah, with speedy dry, yeah, you could do that with like the grime things because the way that those textures are, it's all an alpha layer, right? It's an alpha layer, and then like solid black is like the actual grime itself. So if you reverse that to white, you'd probably get, I think, what you're looking for. Or if you're doing like a holiday track, because you know that time of year's coming, you could get snow, like a little bit of snow out of it. But you know, so I'm gonna go to another track that I made, which is Golden State Motorsports Park, to get the grid graphic that I was actually thought I was going to get. Or grid, it's a MIP grid graphic. I'm off to a fantastic start today. GSMP for Golden State Motorsports Park. I'm actually quite fond of how this track turned out, but we might pull some more stuff from here. Now just as like a heads up, you don't have to like go into 3D SimEd to make tracks. It certainly helps though if if like there's a texture you're missing or something like that. This one, oh, it's just grid. Okay. It certainly helps if like if you think you're missing something like a texture or anything of the like. But oh, these tire streaks were yeah, track mark 4. I'm gonna get that also. I don't know what 2 and 3 are. I'll be honest. That aren't in the groove or near the curbs make it. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Track mark 4 and track mark 5. I'm just gonna copy because I think I remember what track mark 5 is. That's another like scuffed mark. So I noticed I didn't put everything in this folder yet. I'll get to that. going to minimize this for now and move this out of the way. Okay, so grid right here. This is what I was thinking of earlier, Chrissy. This is, or no, width would have to be 12 because this one, to go across the whole track. 10 in this case. Orient to 110, so this would have to be 20. Thereabouts. Yeah, this one has the motorcycle grids in. It's backwards for this track, but that's a pretty simple fix if you wanted to reverse that. So I'm just going to leave that here for the time being, and just center it. And I'm going to do something with this guy. In fact, I'm actually going to do something with this guy real soon. So when I was just like driving around this track the last time we were here, think about something like Laguna Seca, you make parts of the track that aren't in the groove or near curbs to make it look more raced in. Yeah, just reading through that again. Yeah, you could certainly do that and make it look dusty. So one thing that I want to do probably before we do things like the pit lane, because there's going to be a couple things I'm going to have to do for that. Call it like splitting segments up. I mean, we could technically do the pit lane first, but I'm feeling, actually looking at how our first turns are at. Yeah, let's do the pit lane first. So with a track like this, you're probably going to want, because this track goes counterclockwise, you're going to want to have, pit lane's probably going to be in the left-hand side on the start-finish straight. So I'm going to move this back, move this back, just kind of out into here. It doesn't really matter. And this guy is going to be still our, kind of our outer bounds, at least for the track surface. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. Wait, actually, no, we'd have to cross over that at that point. Yeah, no, this is not going to be our outer wall completely. So this is one thing about doing a pit lane, well, especially when you have like an X section. Well, you'd have to worry about this eventually anyway, but just kind of making space for where the pit entry is going to be, and your pit wall, which I'm probably going to make the pit entry a little jankier than normal. So normally, like with a track like this, you probably expect, okay, you could just have everyone peel off right on the exit of the last corner, and that's fine. But I was also had in mind to do something with the front straightaway here, which would make this a little bit more like Cape Cod in a sense. Which, if you know what track I'm referring to, yeah, you know we're gonna have some fun here. 348, so 370. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to look at those is because ideally for a pit stall you want to have about 10 meters of space for each car. At least that's kind of, I feel better with 11 or 12, but with 10 you can get away with on most tracks, and I usually do. And especially since the pits are straight or in a straight line, that's, fine. So I'm just thinking about what where this yeah, we're gonna add a wall. So we're gonna end up moving this guy back. I don't know where to. Yeah, I'll just good enough for the time being. So this guy right here, I'm gonna see if this can cooperate, because sometimes it will. Whoops, I did the wrong one. So we accidentally unconnected that. We'll just reconnect it and move it back into place. Untied tail. That I didn't want to do. Sometimes selecting the exact item you want and having it do what you want can be a bit tricky, because remember, W sections can't cross X sections, so what I'm trying to get this to do is, actually, no, I can do this, because we haven't really done any elevation data yet. I'm trying to be lazy. I'm just going to do that, and I like mode absolute. Like, whoops. Okay, I accidentally deleted that, but I'm having a good day today. Thankfully, that's an easy thing to just redo like that. Okay, so the original position of this guy, I think, was something at about 15, yeah, 15-ish. Doesn't. This should, like, since this is the main straightaway, obviously this should be somewhat, consistent here, so we're gonna put it at 12.8. Yeah. Yeah, you can copy properties for it. I was doing that so I didn't have to re-enter them because I was being lazy. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna probably want a pit fence also. Now I'm probably not gonna do much with curved walls, even though I tried to last time and made a mess of things. So I'm gonna do this, add another W section here, and we're gonna have a wire fence here. Left. So fence is, we're gonna have this be apron. Top. So fence is gonna be too narrow for anything to be on top. You can do a top. You can do a top for a fence. It's just gonna look really stupid. So physical size for fence is obviously gonna be like 0.0. I usually do 0.1, just kind of because if I do 0.1, it's never gonna go beyond the limits of the fence anyway. So, and the height of the fence, I do about 4 meters usually. That should be good enough. Right side, do we have a wire fence? Or do I need to go grab one? Probably from the track. Yep, here we go. Let's get our trusty camera view out. One. Okay, so you may notice these fence poles aren't lined up with the seams on the concrete wall. And you want your concrete walls on, like, for your pit lane to look kind of nice. So we're going to do a little thing called skew right here. So you can put positive or negative numbers in here. What are we doing? We're being what's called being really anal. Because these textures were these wall textures I did specifically so I could just stick the same values there and get all that to line up just fine. So now we're gonna do the same with we're gonna do something similar with the fence. And this fence texture I think is on most of I think it's on at least most of the in-game tracks. At least on a couple of them. There we go. Because one here and one on the wall, they're the same length, so they will line up. I think for our purposes this might be good enough, but is it good enough for me? 7.6 is fine. I've used this so many times you'd think I might have memorized it. No, absolutely not. No chance in hell. Skew is more, yeah, it's a literal offset. It's not, you're not like slanting it. If you wanted to do that, you'd have to actually just edit the texture file. Now you may notice when we decoupled the wall, we need to, you see there's this texture opening right here. I don't know how visible that is. Oh crap, that's off the screen. So we have this right here. That's gonna do near. We're gonna just fill that with 0.25 and then set skew to 1. So yeah, skew is just an offset. But I want to point out though, if you do want to do skew with doing skew on like an asphalt texture or something like that, that actually will slant things. That's particularly effective with light maps. And that is a lot more space here than I thought we were going to have. So I'm going to move this a little closer. 1080. That should be fine. Yeah, and especially since we can just put Astroturf or whatever in here. You know, not make the grounds crew's lives too difficult, because the grounds crew has a really strong union, and I'm not fucking around with them. No one should, because the grounds crew for this track they're good people, and they deserve to be paid well. Same with the track marshals, NASCAR. I know track marshals are usually volunteers, but they have a very dangerous and they have a pretty dangerous and vital job. So you want to make their lives easier if you can. Okay. Just gonna move that in because this will probably be our like pit access lane. Again, this is a little janky for what we have now, for what we have right now. But that doesn't look right eyeballing it, but that might be just because of where the inside wall is going, because that's 10.8, and that I think is just like going to 10.4 or something. 10.4. Yeah, no, that goes 10.8. Okay, yeah, it's just this wall is fucking with me. Alright, we'll get to that though. Now the fun part, or sort of the fun part. When we add an F section, you may notice, okay, it's now everything to the left of this. I left that space here on purpose, because we're gonna have, you know, some people do make will put their F sections for like pit roads like exactly in the same place as the wall section line is. That's pretty common. You don't have to do that, but like as long as it's covered up, then you're fine. Do I do that a lot? Yes, I do. And am I going to do that here? Yes, we are. But for the time being, I'm just going to do pit road. Same asphalt material that we have right now, which is, I do believe this was Sachi asked for. And we had 2. Okay, just trying to remember. So we have our pit road, and which obviously, of course, means I have to reset this to be grass. Did I do 2 or did I do 1? I don't remember. I think I did 1. Yeah, I did. Yeah, John, if you're watching this and you're probably hollering up and down about not using UV maps of 1 for grass textures, and I promise for these it's fine. It's not a stupid idea. I'm gonna actually put this. I'm not gonna have this line up directly with where the inside of the pit's gonna be, because we got more stuff we're gonna put here. Because it just occurred to me, this is gonna be kind of our campground, outer limit, what have you. Now, how wide's the pit lane gonna be? We have this at 10.8. 10 meters is probably fine, which means, of course, that this is gonna turn into our pit wall. You might think, well, what if we want to put a Marshall poster or something like that? Don't worry about those right now. We'll attend to our marshals, but first we have to get like the basic structure in. Now, also another thing you may notice is that the wall looks like it's not going the same place this blue line is. Trust where the blue line is, not where it looks like it is, because this is at like a different level of detail. The blue line is actually where it's going. So if it looks like it's curving outwards a little bit, that's because it is, and it does. And that means it actually is. If you were to go there in game, it would look like that. So I've seen a couple of tracks that look like whoever was making. I know when it zooms in, it does that, but you have to trust it when you zoom out a little bit more. I have seen some tracks though when you go on track, and you can kind of tell it's like, now they trusted the graphic like this level of detail and not the blue line. Anyway, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in a F section here for our painted line. This you don't have to do, but this is pretty standard and on most tracks, period. So we're just gonna do it in yellow because I like yellow. Unlike Elon Musk, I'm not afraid of yellow lines. And those are, I think this is map point. Oh no, it was mapped at 1. Okay, and it's 2, 5, 1. I got the numbers backwards, so that's okay though. Now pit stalls are usually concrete, but if you like, you don't have to set this to be like the exact concrete material. It's fine if you don't, but that's like kind of a standard practice. Now, this no limit to F sections is, I think there is actually, but I know I think there is, but I don't remember what it. I know there's a limit for W sections, which I think is on a segment. I think is like 12 or 13, and there is a limit for X sections, which I think is the same. I don't know about F sections though. I think it might be close to that though. So now, if you want to use like concrete on track as like a different material, that's fine. Or for like passing zones, which I'll get to that. There are some people who will say you shouldn't do that. For like for like humans that are going to be racing on it, and that's a very valid point. Do I necessarily agree with that though? Not like yes and no, because the AI. If you're making a track just for the AI's use, then you can get away with that. But again, case by case basis. So we're gonna make that because that is, yeah, I knew my math, so my brain was not working. 17.9, and so this is gonna be how long or how wide our pit stall is gonna be. That looks a little narrow, and it's a little under 3 meters wide. Yeah, that's a little narrow, I think. And now this pit lane might look a tick narrow also, so I'm gonna make this wider. 21.8. Split the track, make 2 paths then. Kind of, not really, but because you can't have the track paths go in different directions. There's a track, I think it's on the US pits, called the High Road, which has like a split road, but the AI only take one road for obvious reasons. Yeah, that just sounds very silly. 21.8. So we have technically an 11 meter wide pit lane. I'm just assuming her going all the way back up here to pull. Right, because this all didn't. Oh, we didn't line this up on this side either. Am I gonna line this up with the fence or with the wall? The wall, yes. I think this is 17.65. I think we could theoretically do like a paste forward, but I'm not gonna do that here. Because now if you want to have a cars going behind the wall, we'll get to that. But there is a what? I'm looking at the wrong digit here. I was looking at not looking at the right place. I was looking at the decimal place, not the whole number. If you want to have cars going behind the wall, there's an easy way to do that, which is basically just splitting a segment and deleting a wall. But you don't have to do that, but it is really cool whenever you see it. I appreciate those. A lot of my tracks have them, mostly right where the start finish line is. Mostly for texture, like mapping reasons, to make my life a little easier, and also when it comes to just allocating pit space. Now here's our the second half of our pit lane. This is going to be, of course, 21.8. If this looks like it's a bit tight, don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, so this concrete texture, this isn't like the usual concrete texture. This is one that I got from somewhere else. Don't worry about it yet, where it came from exactly, but if you want something that's a little bit more standard that you might find on one of the default tracks, let's just go get what was on one of the default tracks. Where's Kansas? This is the only default track I still have in my track folder. Concrete. I'll just copy this one over just so that you can see. Before, I'm going to copy this one in here. Now, of course, the golden rule, save often, which I have been kind of, and I saved iteratively. You technically don't need a pit wall. That's actually correct. But with Singapore, or with any F1 track, what a lot of them have is like these giant garage building. Oh wait, no, that's something else I could show. Is like some of those, and you can technically get away with some cheeky bullshit with that. Xanarkin's got one of the doesn't quite have one of these because that but you can do some cheeky bullshit with a W section. I did this with a Tula, which is essentially have a W section building, and I did it a lot on Gravis City, Brands Hatch. Sometimes the camera's gonna go crazy on with this, but like the Gravis City Zone 7 has a lot of W section buildings on it. Brands Hatch does. It's not like the rarest thing in the world, but yeah, I might try or I might show you how one of those would work in a little bit. But first, just gonna put a more standard concrete texture on here than the one that I have, the one that I have previously. I don't know why this is showing as none. Sometimes it does that though. So here you go. Here's a more standard concrete texture that you find on most. Like this texture's everywhere. It came with the game, so you'd expect it to. So skew a little bit. We're gonna move this over, and the second one is one of these is moving it forwards, and the other one's move it laterally. No, it's this one. So yeah, if one of these is 1, like this is gonna be like, okay, let's put a giant number in there, like 1 in 10. It starts at skews at it's at like 0 for like the head and 10 at the tail, which means these you can follow these lines. These do slant inwards towards the end of this to the right. You can do it the other way, but again, there's only a couple instances I think where you'd want to do it, and most of it's going to involve light maps. Like, and what I mean with light maps, I mean with like the shadow of the fence on the track, things like that. I don't think we'll get to that because those are annoying even on a good day. And you can make those look weird real quick. Like, it doesn't take much for the light map on a fence to look just really bizarre and not really in a good way. So normally people will say have these mapped to 2 because like the in-game textures to 2. That's probably fine. I'm just gonna line this up right now though. And of course, since we're doing yeah, 257. That'll be fine. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do that. And so technically what is labeled as pit stall is everything behind the wall as well. This is technically fine. But if you'd rather not do that and you want to, like, you know, have people be able to screw around without having to worry about that, then we're just gonna do this. Just to avoid that. Just to avoid any shenanigans like that. And we'll get into the geometry of the pit wall in just a minute. Okay, so we're just gonna... Actually, can we copy these forward? I don't think we can. No, I didn't think so. And it's fine. We don't necessarily have to. The alternative, of course, we delete this segment, extend this all the way to the end, and then, you know, remark, like, recut it, but, like, yeah, actually, let's do that. So we already know where our start-finish line is going to be, and now I'm going to show you. There's, like, a thing we should probably be aware of here. I'm deleting this, marking this as, making this the lead segment again. And the track decals are going to stay where they are, but there's, like, a catch to that. Like, don't worry about that, though, too much. Attach at tail. I'm doing this, like, with as few segments as possible, to avoid, and I think I may have fucked something up. Did I? Crap. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I kind of did. All right, that's why. Managing to break sandbox in new and interesting ways today. I'm just gonna make sure that this isn't gonna break anything. So this is just because I'm not sure if I'm gonna accidentally delete the segment or not by doing this. Okay. Do I know what caused that? Not necessarily. Do I care? Also, not necessarily. So we're just tidying that up. Got this. Is this pit lane going to extend beyond this? No, it is not. But what we are going to do is we are going to... oh, yeah, these aren't like... Would it... Oh, yeah, they are. They're behaving. Good. Paint line, but I have to hear that's going to be apron near pits. This is probably just going to be grass. Okay, I don't know how we're doing on, how well we're going on time, but I'm not really like time constrained today. I was just wondering. Copy forward and mark as apron near pits. Now this, what I'm gonna do is, this is a perfectionist thing. I'm gonna, because I will absolutely lose my goddamn mind otherwise. Is this is at 10:8. That would be at, yeah, no, that would be fine. Actually, this is perfect. 11:05 is where that would be. I know those don't match up. Yeah, I'll make that the yellow one. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about these too much. I just wanted to have that there for the time being. Most of the stuff I will come back to. So now I'm gonna go back down to here where we had this, split this again, and this is probably gonna mess up a lot of our like texture things, so I'm gonna have to reduce some of that and then make this the lead again. Now when I did all of that, a lot of the thing whenever you like move where the lead segment is, because track decals are where they're mapped is entirely based on where the lead segment is. They'll all move with it, but not obviously while I'm still here. Sandbox leaves them just where like it looks like they are. And I think you have to rebuild the track. So you may have to rebuild the track sometimes, especially when you're doing a lot of segment splits. Otherwise, things will look a little goofy. So I'm gonna go to track surface decal editor. Yeah, see, this is kind of what I was getting at. The actually, before I do that, I'm just gonna save this again. I know there's an easy fix for like that like save issue, but I just keep forgetting what it is. It's not like a total fix, obviously, but it's like there's some security measure behind it. I think I don't remember what it is, so don't like yell at me in the comments or whatever. That's fine. I will probably immediately forget you said whatever you said. I don't remember what rebuild track is because I don't use it's something I don't use. Oh yeah, this shift every segment's tail delats is why I think the every NR version of Montreal's AI lines are terrible because they go through I think they all use the same LP files and they all go through walls, which I may have to show you at some of you at some other time, but it is strange to put it mildly. Alright, well, whatever. I think I have to, yeah, do that. And that's a pit entry. And I saw that that came out of line, so I'm gonna gotta go and fix it. Sometimes it does get ugly like this, but usually only in the real early stages. And this is again why I do things like elevation and the sort very early on. Because otherwise you will cause yourself a lot of pain that you don't need to. Is because it's just annoying. Yeah, when they get shifted 3,000 meters, so around that's a whole whole way around the track. But track surface decals are honestly a much easier thing to fix. It might be more annoying, like at first, but no, you don't know what annoying is when you have to. You'd rather that than like just have to do like this, especially at this stage, because if you're gonna do something like a Marshall post with actually like with the track walls and stuff, actually this would be a good place to put one. But like something like this, and you want to have this wall like actually come out naturally in the like, you'd probably have to make like another segment, especially if it's in the middle of a straightaway. Like if you wanted to have one back here, you'd have to do another split there, and you have to do all that over again. It's just fucking annoying. It really is. Yeah, there might be a good reason to actually do it, like to put one here as well. So I'm gonna leave that like it is. I'm not gonna connect that because we're probably gonna put a sand pit in somewhere today also. Actually, yeah, paved runoffs. Generally, I'm kind of a hardliner on paved runoffs are bad, like pretty much universally bad. I saw some of the shit they were gonna do to Spa. Hold on. Yeah, when the pit wall shifts 1 millimeter, that's actually 10. It was actually 10 centimeters. So I know that it's like a hectometer, whatever. No one uses those unless you're a fucking weirdo. Yeah, you have much less margin of error with the pit stalls though, especially since it's something that you see more often. But those are also easy to fix. Actually, yeah, we'll probably have some runoff here, or at least something. Actually, most of it would probably be back here, so I'm just gonna, in preparation for that. So this looks like a good place for not only a lot of hard braking, but some championship implications moments. If you all just sighed right there, that's okay. I pretty much did too. So now that I'm done with that, or done doing that, we're going to and like also like another thing is like a lot of like real tracks, like you'll see like the lines on like some tracks aren't perfectly straight. That's true also, but at the same time, it like if you want to do like that and have like some of like your what you have like wiggle around like that, you be my guest. I will not be doing that. Thanks. So, oh yeah, when you split a segment, all your mappings for UV will get a little bit messed up. But you, again, as I'm demonstrating here, very simple fix. Okay, so now we have the pit wall. I don't remember exactly what the height of the pit wall is. At least what the pit wall is that the NR2003 crewman jumps over. There was somewhere that I think it was written down. I think John had it somewhere. Or it could have been on no, that's a Minecraft folder. I was playing that earlier today. It might have been on. There's like a reference file that I had for it for how big those are, and I think it was on. No. Oh, I remember. It was on a Little Rock, which means it's going to be in this track. This is a. I'm just for reference. I'm going into a track folder to grab another object. That has like the reference size for like how big a pit stall is and how pit center, and I think it's just pit center. Yep. For like how big a pit stall is, which I'm gonna be honest with you, this is an object I never use on my own. Oh, actually, I might come back here for that also. But this is an object I never use, but I should, because I think this is how big the actual like pit stalls are, and like the distance from the wall and such. So we're going into object editing. This is the easy part, and the part that most people notice immediately. Track objects, but of course we're doing it with just a technical object here. I'm gonna just right click, add trackside objects, scroll all the way to the bottom. We have only one in our folder, and remember what I said with track decals and the shared folder, the same applies with objects. I think this is how big a pit stall is. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I'm decently sure about that. As you can see, according to this, we have a ways to go. Or more space we could use. I could probably use this in Minnesota because so behind the scenes TM Master Cup shit right here. Here for a minute. I've been having a lot of issues with the AI and the pits on that track. It's either like under yellows, they've been causing some drama, which is not a new thing for any track that I've touched to have. A lot of tracks that I end up playing with tend to run into either that issue or a number of very similar ones. And some of them will be this other bug in the game where like they won't leave their pit stall if like the pit lane is too, if they think the AI thinks the pit lane is too crowded. Which again, that is another issue. A lot of tracks that I made, particularly some of my older tracks like Burlington, the pit lanes themselves are somewhat of a death trap. So I'm trying to widen this a little bit to avoid that, because I guess it's like a natural instinct I have to just make the pits absolutely fucking painful. When they absolutely have no right to be. In fact, I think right now our pit lane is it wider than our race surface is? Or is it close? Yeah, right now the pit lane's wider. Slightly. But that's fine. Because I kind of wing it on pit stops with a lot of things in the pits sometimes when maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I gotta move this back. And again, I think that's what that red object, that pit center thing is for, just lining that up, because sometimes the guys, when they jump over the wall, it can look a little bit janky. I'm gonna give them that amount of space. I'm gonna move this back a bit because I don't need the stall to be right where it is exactly. What I need is for the so you may notice I've been having some issues selecting the W section here. I'm getting around this by selecting the F section here and then just hitting left, of course going to inside, and now I'm gonna find where we're working at, which is gonna be right over here. Okay, here's where we're gonna set the height of the pit wall. Wall pit stall. Height 0.4. Right, it's gonna be 45. No, I think just 5. I think I usually just do 5. I think that's actually a little bit taller than that, but do we care for now? Yeah, let's 55, 52. All right, if you want to change this afterwards, be my guest. I'm leaving it at 0.52. And also because we go to the end here, we have that. If I do forward again, it's going to go onto the track, so we have to do near. It seems like it's taking a while. Yeah. I completely understand it. If, like, you might think it's... Some of this is annoying. We haven't even scratched the surface of the most annoying thing to do yet. Okay, I gotta realign that. Yeah, because when I did the split the segment and then reattached it, I think like it wasn't exactly the same length as it was before, so I'm gonna have to or I don't think I cut it in exactly the same place, so I have to fix some of that. That's fine though. As long as I'm aware of that, then we good. Which wall do I have selected here? I want that one. Yeah, that should be. Okay. So this is gonna be. That's another thing that's slightly irritating is when I'm gonna try to get this on the bottom, or like at least on the left side, so you can see about where I'm looking at, which is gonna be right there. Now, does this need to be as precise as it is? If you're me, it is. And otherwise, this looks to me, this is just gonna look weird, and I hate it. So. Thankfully, again, since the way that I did all these textures a long time ago, that number can just be copied over easy, and the fence, I think, can go left for the fence. Will this look weird after it goes over the start-finish line? Yes. So, I know I'm going to have to do this again, so I'm just going to do it from here. But this is for the end of the pit wall on the other side. And for the reason why I have to put a skew number in there is because otherwise there'll be this black line on the one side of the wall. Or the seam of where that is, so I wanted to just avoid that. So we have most of our pit lane here. I'm going to take the yellow painted line wherever the hell that went. If this wants to cooperate. If it doesn't, I won't be too surprised. I think that's going to need to be like 6 or 7. I think 7. Okay, 110 is actually not the, it's going to be 110.25. Nope, because it's not lined up on that side. That's good enough. This will probably get thrown out of alignment again when I close this. When I close this and reopen it, or when I look at it in non-track for the first time, because sometimes that happens with track decals. Sometimes they don't do what you want them to do, and you look like an idiot afterwards. Yeah, okay, no, that's not gonna quite do, because I'm looking at the first set of red numbers on the bottom right corner. Yeah, there's one that would be for 0, and I think that's gonna say it's all the way down here. So that doesn't mean this is the lead. That just means that the alignment's gonna be off, or like just when I'm working on it, not that it's actually got a problem. Shit, I didn't want to do that. Maybe I didn't want to do that, because now I got to do this again for some reason. I don't use rebuild track very much. Oops. Specifically because it does stuff like that. It's just with this one side of the track, which for all but our 2 segments that we've designated, we're going to put some Marshall posts at, since this is a road circuit, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, it's also a case study of you can work with this shit for a long time and you can still have issues with it, because of course this is a dev tool. Let's be honest here. Yep, that's another one that I said leave, but we're gonna leave that alone. So there's another tool that like you can use called pit tool to place where all the pit stalls are, and that's fine if you want it. And honestly, if you're gonna do if you have a curved pit lane or like a straight pit lane on a curved section, you're gonna want to use that. Am I going to use that for this? Honestly, no, because this isn't a straight line, and we can actually kind of place them all manually. Is it annoying? Yeah, a little bit, but is it also going to be good enough for what we're doing? Also, yes. It'll be fine for our intended use. However, before we do that, and before I just like scream at the machine some more, we are going to okay. Yeah, I think I might save this and then reopen it, and then we can do some fun things called height maps, also called elevation. And we can then I can also do we can do the pit stalls, elevation, and but we'll do the elevation first. I'm gonna show why. I'm gonna demonstrate why, or show why, and then we're gonna do some mild elevation here, maybe a couple of slightly banked corners. Then we're gonna do some like curbing and runoffs and stuff like that. So, but before we do any of that, I'm gonna hit the bathroom really quick, and then I'll be back. Okay. Okay, height mapping. What is elevation? It's what some people think makes tracks better than what they really are. That's my pseudo hot take for the moment, for the time being. Okay, so personally, I'm of the belief that not every track needs to be a roller coaster. It can make some tracks a lot better than they really are, than they would be otherwise. But like it is kind of an easy layup in that regard. So what we notice here is we have, I might go to the other view for this. Yeah, actually, I think I will. We're gonna switch views really quick. Give me a second. There. Hopefully this is still visible. So we have our this is where all those X sections I placed in the very beginning of like the very first part of this. This is kind of where a lot of those are going to come back into play. So here's our center line. So we're like, this is our, well, don't worry about this half over here just yet. But this is our this is the center line right here. This is the first X section, which I do believe was on the edge of the painted line. The second one is going to be at the back, and if this is the pit straight, then it's going to be at the pit wall, but it'll be just the outermost wall because that's where we placed it. And then, or most of the way around anyway. And then this is the far left one over here. And then, of course, this is on the right side of the track. So, if we select one of these, let's say we want, now you can have some of these move in like different modes. Like when I mean different modes, it's like if you move one, like if it like interpolates left to right, it's like you can have them like move together essentially. But I think you got to do so. I think there's some like restrictions to that. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I'm just gonna go through like some of the really basic things with that. Now you notice we're moving this up, and where are we on the track? Whoops. Should be. So when you move these points, it's gonna move it. Well, when you move a point like this, it's gonna be at the end of this. It's where it is at the very end of the segment, right? So the first segment, when I move this up, it moves it up at the end over here. So that's something to keep in mind. And also, like little differences like this. I know it says like 0.05 or whatever. You might think, oh, that's nothing. No, you feel that. You absolutely feel that. So like, even if it's like the slightest thing that you don't think is a big deal, no, it's not. You definitely will feel them. And if you want to do like bumps and stuff, there's a better way for that. The bumpiest track I've ever driven is probably the 2 Gravisteady tracks. Those are both incredibly rough, but Sawmill is pretty close. And Sawmill is one hell of a ride. I should point out, Mr. Panko did a fantastic job with that. So if we want to have, so I'm going to select the very last segment here of the track. Now you're gonna see the white numbers, right? That's the 6.25 is how far to the right of the center line that X section was placed, and 0 is its elevation. The white number in the bottom right corner, it's gonna be down like right here. So we're gonna have this go up to yeah, you know what, I'm feeling crazy. Let's do yeah, 510, sure, why not? And then this one we're gonna do the same thing too. Why? Because somebody let me loose on this, and okay, 510. We're gonna match this up here. Like I said, I think there's a way you can like just do like interpolate left to right, but I don't really do that. I think by doing that you can have like some I think with those you can have like some semblance of like not quite progressive banking, but because NR doesn't really do that, but you can have I think with like more like the elevation's a bit less jagged, but I think I don't remember. I would have to like see that again. But so what are we doing? So why are we doing it like this? So why are we doing this? So our Baku straight kinda. So you may notice I raised all that up. See what we're gonna see what effects that has. Yeah, like our start finish line is like showing up under here because it's being silly. But I also wanted to do it here because that's where our object was. This guy, the thing that I was using earlier to like line up where the pit wall is. The thing that I should be using more often than I do. So because I didn't raise the outer two segments here and here, you notice we have this like kind of trapezoid, like it's you know rising up out of the ground, kind of like that. But also we got ourselves a downhill run into the first corner. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise this up also, even though you could argue that I probably shouldn't and that I should add another section in here just to have like a you know stable ground for like grandstands and things to go. And I'm gonna actually do that, but so I'm gonna actually do that, but just to have the make sure that my brain is blanking real quick, just to make sure like the F section here, the grass texture actually does meet up with the very bottom of the you know earth again. When I mean bottom, I mean like the 0 point. I'm gonna actually move this here. A lot of people don't like. There's a lot of tracks that I've seen that don't actually, you know, line up the outermost F and X sections. And again, that is actually perfectly fine. You can do that. Big Blue does that. I mentioned this before, but I do that mostly for like sanity reasons. Like, except if it's you know something like Big Blue, which is a track that I made. Now this same general process of making like kind of a flat area, like flat-ish area up here, to get inserting grandstands inserting these after the fact is going to be most of the same way as to how we're going to actually do curbs. So that's another motivating factor here. This I'm going to move way back here because I like to have like more space to like work with in this regard. And since it'll probably come down to like 0 anyway, I feel fine leaving those separate. And of course, the safety police will blow a gasket if we don't have this be a okay, so here's what Marcus Euclidean does. If you want to have like a straight wall on curved geometry, you use that. You cannot use Euclideans for X sections though. You can for F and W though. Are we gonna do that? Well, since I already started doing it, yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that for the time being. Actually, that's fine probably. So I'm just gonna have so this same process I'm doing here to get like that kind of plateau thing going on is more or less going to be how we're going to do a curb. Just curbs are much more of a pain in the ass to do because you're working with much less space. And that's probably further back than it needs to be. But again, since like W and F sections can't cross X sections, just wanted to make sure everyone was, you know, perfectly aware of that. Okay, so we have this that we inserted after the fact. This might be, no, we do it on this one. So there's like another thing with like editing height, with doing height map editing. You're gonna want to save more often than usual, and I know I'm being a terrible example by not have done it again already, because yeah, there's memory like sandbox. Like I know I had this problem more on my old machine, but sometimes sandbox memory issues would, you know, come back up and kind of bite you in the ass. So here we have our like plateau kind of running across the side here. If we were going to put grandstands or anything, they'll sort over here. I know this right now isn't great or perfect, but for right now, I think that's going to be okay. This one may not need to be here, but I'm going to leave it there anyway. Because I have no reason to get rid of it. Now we're gonna do a real quick another thing is we're gonna go to track surface decals. Actually no, wait, no, I gotta save and then I'm gonna save sandbox, close it, and then reopen it, and then we'll just be right back to where we were previously. Bring up the small display again. Okay. Okay, see, there's our trackside decals. They're back where they're supposed to be. We placed a while ago. Our object is sitting under the earth. Now here's another thing when working with elevation. It's going to make lining a lot of other things up be a pain in the ass. So I think we had this, the elevation here was 5.10. Yeah, that's not, as you can tell, it's not in line with the actual ground here. I think I should have made these walls, these walls, I think, there's, hang on. So there's, this wall maybe should have been, whoops. So I think there's vertical walls and perpendicular walls. Perpendicular walls are going to go with where the, they're going to follow like where the elevator, like you'll notice this wall is now slanting backwards. Vertical it still kind of is, but not quite as much. I think one of perpendicular, it's, they're not, they're, you know, oh wait, I just realized I should probably do, gonna open up height map again, and what I'm gonna do is yeah, I'm gonna have another like couple X sections back here so that we have like the same kind of like raised up area that we do for the pits as well, just so that not just so that the wall looks less janky, but more so that everything kind of looks behind the wall. It's like some things like immediately behind the pit wall look a little smoother. When you work with elevation, you do kind of bring in a whole lot of other, like you can kind of, you do kind of invite some other issues. As far as like how much actual elevation I'm going to add to this track as is, probably not too much, because because there's any of you out there who want to, like, you know, make changes to this or finish it up and add more, I'll make that your own prerogative. But we're going to do something else that's related to elevation in a little bit. We're going to do a slightly banked corner. And a lot of the people who are thinking of making the latest 5-mile super speedway of absolute pain. Number one, I can assure you there's enough of those that have been made already. But yeah, Area 51 jump. Yeah, actually, that's how a lot of those are done with this. But I can assure you a lot of those have been done before, like to death. But you know, I think there's some slightly better ways you could probably not only make elevation work and make it, you know, fun, but also bank corners too. Now, I think the FIA rule on like bank turns nominally was 5 degrees, or was like 5 degrees of banking max, because they're, you know, snobby and fun policey. But I think they waived that for not only IMS but for Zandvoort, because Zandvoort has the Ari Lyondike corner. Well, would a sausage curb be alongside a regular curb be showable? No, actually, curbs are something I planned on doing. So curbs would be a very similar process to this. In fact, they may even do it in the same area, general area. Because curbs, you're gonna have to cut a segment up a little bit. It's the thing is with this, I'm not sure like where the best place to put one would be, so I'm gonna do a bank corner first. We're gonna also do some more like elevation mapping here, and we're gonna do it right over here. So we're gonna have this, because if you remember, here's our elevation map on the left side here. We have the front. This is where the start finish line is. It comes downhill and then it's flat until the very end where it rises all the way back up. Now you can do elevation through working with this just by like moving stuff up and down here. That's usually good for fine tuning. However, don't start here. It's a pain in the ass. You're gonna want to do it on this side first. Yeah, basically. And what if you're, in case anyone's wondering what I was directly responding to, Chrissy asked, do you basically slap X sections over the curb? And yeah, essentially. But you know, we're gonna get to that. So here, this is again on the far edge of the paint. This, of course, is that's in degrees. We're gonna make this rise up. Not 11, maybe not 11 degrees. Because I'm gonna have the inside line rise up too, because I'm gonna make this little a little fun. Gonna raise that up a little bit a little bit more than that. We may want to put another X section behind this, kind of like I did at the start finish line, but over here I'm not going to, on the grounds of let's keep the show moving a little bit. So on the left side here, I'm just gonna demonstrate how some of this works. So you have these little tabs right here. This is where you're gonna like fine tune the gradient here. Whoops. There we go. And so if you want to make that a bit of a smoother ascent like that, but then again, this is off the track, so it's gonna be rising up from here. And you can do the same thing on the other side as well. Could you put X sections on the racetrack to make progressive banking? Yes. There is Abbotsford. I don't know if you've downloaded Abbotsford, but the track that Abbotsford was based off of sort of had progressive banking. I'm saying sort of. It was not perfect, but it was good enough. If you want that track, I'll send it over to you. It was made for an online league. And is Abbotsford a good track? No, it's probably one of the worst I put out, but it's an edit, and if there's anything that I need to do to Abbotsford, it's start over. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, because I messed some things up with that. So I'm gonna raise that up. You notice on, oh wait, that's a little hard to see. Sorry. Shit. There we go. So I was what I was doing is I was making this. You may notice in the camera view, right here, I'm making that go up and down as needed. And again, like differences of like having some of these like smooth is pretty important because again, you will feel these when driving over them, and you'll notice any area where you mess the elevation up. Oh, you notice it. And is it pretty? No, the results generally are not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like this the inside line also rise up a little bit as well. But I'm going to leave these two. I'm going to leave those on the ground for now. Just so again that this is going to be rising up. And again, a lot of the problems that you'd have with like doing curbs on elevation, yeah, some of those are going to magnify, and that's what like the Gothenburg track I put out. And, like if you're wondering why some of the curbs on that, there's one curb in particular are absolutely gigantic and very very weird. That's mostly why. It is because I kind of goofed it, but it's not too bad. Okay, that is a bit much. I see now that we know which section this is, we can actually raise this and like look at it here. That would and this obviously is going to come up. Is this good? No, it probably isn't. Is should that the inside be raised up also? Probably yes. So as in the inside wall over here. Because you know that's usually how like hills and stuff form. And like anything beyond the hill, if you wanted to put another X section over there for whatever reason, yeah, you could. Is this turn going to be a little bit janky and weird? Yeah, almost certainly. And we're going to have this be like a sharp downhill? No, probably not. What we're going to do is I think we're gonna have this all kind of neatly just go back to 0, like right around here. Again, like this is one of those things that like you get better at not screwing elevation up by screwing it up. At least that's how I that I can definitely say that for me anyway. I probably should have yeah, I'm gonna want to move these back. Because there's going to be room for all sorts of stuff over here. This is an area where you might want to consider like behind this wall is adding another adding some extra X sections here just to maybe raise the ground up here a bit. But again, I'm going to remove myself from that decision-making process if anyone wants to edit this, which you are free to do. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to do here also is I'm going to add a since this is where I'm going to have a marshal post, kind of arbitrarily, we're going to put in, well, my favorite thing, sand pit. So we add an F section, but before I do that, I'm going to go into another track folder, namely probably the in-game Watkins Glen, and get a better sand texture. And when I mean better, or no, not in-game Watkins Glen, I'm just going to go to Golden State, get one from there. And when I mean better, I mean one that's not the one that I have in there. Because I have one in the track folder, but it's a little bit wonky. Do I have... I don't remember what these are. I'm going to drag these over. Oh, wait. There's another thing in here I might want. In the track map folder, I may... Oh, wait, that's the shadow from the pine trees. Okay, never mind. I still might want... okay, there's a thing with pine trees that I might get, or trees in general that I might get into. Can I open area? And of course, I forgot the thing I went into that folder for, which is a sand texture. Okay, just to make sure that I didn't forget anything, I'm going to just do this. That's just to make sure when we actually go in game, we don't have anything missing. That's all right. This will not be going anywhere. So, we're gonna go here. Where did my thingy go? Here we go. Gonna put sand. Apron. You know, we do not want apron near pits. Okay, this is the sand texture I used at Golden State Motorsports Park. As you saw, I didn't make this. I don't remember who did. Whoever did, your work has gone towards making many people happy. I'm probably not going to do a tire barrier here. I might mess around with a tire barrier. Actually, that would be a good thing to do next. Just put a tire barrier over there. Whoops. I accidentally had that join up. So I need to... Well, actually, is that really a big deal? Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna have these join up just in case. I want to, just in case I want to have like a little like lane or whatever for like a truck to get across. Is this necessary entirely? No. Like that, but so I'm not gonna join this up here just in case, you know, if you want to like move this, you know, back out here and have like a little like asphalt lane or whatever to like a truck to get over there and recover anyone. Fine, you can. Are we going to do that here, though? No. We're just going to leave that right there. Just leave that option open. Okay, so here's our sand pit corner that we just put in. So right behind here, because the X section up here doesn't, and you can argue this is why you don't want to have the X section join with the wall, and that's fine. I think that would actually be reasonable if you wanted to. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to uncouple that from here. So that people realize, like some people might realize, you know, is everything going to go perfect here? But no, tonight's a very clear indication. sometimes a lot of things don't go perfectly, or you might make some changes in the middle of doing things, and that's fine. So here we have this, like our like kind of flat-ish space to stick things on, like a Marshall post, which I'm now about to do. But but we don't have any ambulances or anything like that in the track folder. That's fine. We're gonna reference one from the shared folder. Now it's not gonna show up immediately. It's not gonna show up immediately here, and that's fine. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate that. How far off the ground is this? So that's 3.72. So going back to this guy, the Z is elevation. I'm just gonna put a 3.7. It might, because it's, you know, not perfectly on there, and because of the way gravity works, he's probably gonna be yawed out a little bit, or you're gonna probably mess around with roll and pitch, because those will, you know, move it in those two axes, as you can see. So I'm gonna probably put that at like 2. Move it down to 3.5, 3.55, good enough. If that's like actually not correct, then we can fix it later. Now we're gonna do, so we have our object from the shared folder. We have a downhill run here. I'm gonna demonstrate maybe 1 or 2 other things, and especially oh, and then we're gonna test the tracking game. And I already know there's gonna be one problem we're gonna have. At least right now we will, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Here we have this turn right here. Now, there's one thing that I like. And there's it's a thing that some other people don't like. It's curbs. And this is partially why I wanted to do, you know, have one X section on the inside of the yellow painted line, right? So we're gonna put in an F section, and we're gonna need to make this one grass. I'm also going to need to move a lot of, probably a couple objects over into the, and things into the, like our kind of deploy folder, unless we already want to start using, like NR2003 data and make that, which I'm fine with, but we might get to that a little bit. Yeah, actually, we might get to that. We'll see. Well, we'll see if we get that. We'll see if we get to that, but if we don't, that's okay. I'm going to move this back just a little bit, because now right here we're going to have this set to rumble. And do I have... Alright, so here we have the thing that everyone hates, but except me, seemingly. The things that Rusty Wallace, bless him, called ripple stomps. Okay, so I'm going to lock this to you. Now they have a GBR and GBL. It's just a difference of like what direction light's going to be hitting it at. And these are black and, you know, yellow. I think I have another version of this with like white and red. But I know I didn't make this texture. It came from somewhere else. So, here's where we're going to be splitting up a lot of segments. Also, so I'm going to... but before I do that, I'm going to have this over here as well. I'm going to copy forwards. And these aren't like your usual, like, you know, landmine curbs or whatever, which still, yeah, those are sausage curbs, but, you know, not quite. Or you know, the things that those little things that they have at the Roval, the Charlotte Roval, which um I thought someone wanted my attention real quick. I'm gonna move. This isn't gonna go up the whole hill, so I'm just doing this to doing this just so that I can split it again. Yeah, right here might be fine. Crap. Oh well. I was off by a little bit. Now, if you do this, now if you see what I'm doing here is I'm moving, squishing this segment in to the paint. It goes away. It's gone. That, at least over here. So now back over here. We have this. I'm gonna probably want to back this up a tiny bit. Nope, wrong one. Right, there we go. Is it really worth it being this precise at things? I always feel better when I have things like incredibly like some texture mapping like super precise like that. I know for some people it might be tedious as hell, but I enjoy it. Yeah, and we're gonna do the same thing we did up here. Now watch, I'm gonna screw this up, and I'm gonna like be mad. I'm gonna be, you know, salty and mad. Now, for some people, there's the one style of curve that you can do. Obviously, is just like a rumble section like this, or section like this. That it's, you know, they're just flat. It uses the rumble surface, and you know it's kind of a good stay off my grass type of thing. We're gonna go. We're gonna do. We're gonna go beyond that. We are obviously going beyond that. We're gonna split the segment. Right there, that should be fine. Okay. So we're gonna do, we're gonna want to put in 3 X sections right here. I'm gonna show you where these all are gonna go in just a minute, but I have to add them first. So this one, I'm gonna just go back to the small window. So I know this is gonna be a little hard to see because I'm doing this on, this is yellow, so bear with me here. This is gonna go probably, so yeah, that's a bit close. If two sections are within 0.1 10 centimeters apart, they'll try to join together, or they will join together. So I'm gonna put this one at like 0.35. Because that's at 2.5, and that's where the other section is. This one, the back, how wide is this? Is this 7.2? No, it's 7.12. I was holding down my Discord push to talk key because that's such a habit of mine now. Push to talk on Discord is a very good thing, and you should use it no matter what server you're in, because otherwise sometimes people will hear your keyboards and other things mashing in the background, and that can be very, very distracting and very irritating very quickly. There's one person that is probably not going to be listening to this that I'm talking about specifically, but it's okay. That was all just something for me to amuse myself a little bit, you might say. So 725. This is going to be at 715. Seven, 1, 5, 6, 3, 5. Yes, good. That's where we want it. How long have we been live? Oh, we've been live almost 2 hours. Wow. Oh, you are? What do we have on, what's the, score right now? Because I need to put that on my other monitor. I forgot the start time. Yeah, this is one of the only, Oh, I know. Are you on? Or do you have the? Oh wait. Or do you have the Columbus game on right now? I thought the Black. Yeah. If anyone's wondering what I'm talking about, it's the start time to the Blackhawks playing the Arizona Coyotes, who are both of them who are shit. So Okay. Yeah. That's not until. Yeah. It's not for a couple hours. Okay. I thought so. What? Oh. Oh, I forgot when the start time was, and I was like, they're playing. I was like, the Hawks are playing in Arizona today. Like they're playing the only team in the Central worse than them. Um. Uh. Okay, so here we have. I have 3x sections on the curbs. I'm going to save again, and then we're going to go into the height maps, and we're gonna doodle them. So. Okay, going back to here because this is where our curb starts. Height views. So this section I split up. So here's where our curb is. It's right here. So this is going to be the most front-facing of the. So like, there's a couple ways you can do the curb. Obviously, you can have it more like evenly spaced up like this. You can have it more like a gradient slope going upwards, which in which case you probably move this section a bit further back. I might just mark these as I'm gonna do so we have the 2x sections on the end just to make sure that this one's in line with the racing surface and this one with everything behind it. Oh yeah, and keep in mind this 3.09 thing, that's the degrees from this to this. That's the top of the curb. So we have we can have it looking kind of like that, where it's more like flat on top. If you wanted to make it we can make it more so that it's there's more of a difference between like the original like slope from we can have it so like the actual like peak air quotes of the curb is a bit narrower, in which case we'd move the section back here to do that. There's lots of different ways we can do that. I think I may have picked the opposite texture, but that's fine. I'm actually going to do it a bit more like this. So after just thinking about it for a second, I'm going to put this at 6.75. So these curbs are not nice, if anyone's wondering. This is just, you know, it's going to do 0.015 meters, which is that's almost 6 inches. So I just wanted to point out that's how high this is. What was I doing? I just typed into Google 0.15 inches to centimeters, like 5.90 something long decimal number. But you know, that's like the height of this, like in the back anyway. And of course, what we can do then is we can maybe make this a bit like less of a gradient or more so. Not quite, because this is going to be a bit long. This can be like that's the height of this is 6 inches, not this one or this in here. This is 6 inches off the higher than that. But we can have this as like a bit of a different gradient if we like, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move this section back after originally thinking I was going to do it based off of So, okay. Yeah, I'm in the right spot. Whoa, I was blanking like ridiculously there for a minute. Okay, so right here you can see like the because now we can't move this up or down because there's no X section behind it. See, that's the thing with those is we can make this rise up sharper, but we wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, Singapore's got mostly flat curbs from what I remember. Obviously, in 3D SimEd you can actually open like the Codemasters F1 games with that. I like their more recent versions of 3D SimEd anyway. But the good thing with that is if you like buy it, it's you get all updates for free. So and I do highly recommend it because it has done wonders for sim racing. It is a one-man developer team, I think. So I can't stump for 3D SimEd enough. And is it worth it? I've gotten a lot of use out of it for just NR stuff, and it's got a lot of mileage. It's like it works with a lot more games than you might think. So absolutely is. I would say it absolutely is, and it's a godsend. And Dave Noonan's done a lot of really good work. So yeah, like that's the good thing about it. So we have our curb height map already planned out, and the other section, which still has the one section in the other spot, is going to look a little different. That's a little hard to see on the and here we go. But yeah, you don't want to get a wheel behind this. And you really don't. You're gonna have a bad time. Oh no, I did move it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna put a thing of Astroturf behind this, real quick. Which I probably should have done in advance, but you know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is pretty steep. Are these curbs excessively steep? Yeah, they are. Did I do something like this at Golden State Motor Sports Park? Yeah. What does that mean? Stay off the goddamn curbs. You don't want to be on them. Like, you can obviously make this like shallower by just making the curb wider, which I probably should do because most curbs aren't a meter wide. Um, they're usually a bit wider than that, but like generally speaking, I always look at curbs on a track as, especially on the inside line in particular, as being you should not be on these. That's how I look at them. Is you shouldn't be here. Stay off. On the outside, it's a little different because that's where you get into more serious you run into you run into like destruction too. But you know, of course, with a curb, you can always go in and test it, and then if it doesn't work the way you want to, you can fix it. Okay, so I think I have an Astroturf texture in here. So I normally what I do with Astroturf is I'll make those have like paint texture, or either that or those will also be rumble because I'll have used paint for things. Yeah, they're the last chance part of the track, and which is kind of why I had it as tall as it was. It's the raging of your parents giving you a countdown from 10. Oh God, no. My house, no. If you're getting a countdown, you are already late from where I am. Someone wanted me real quick. I guess not. So moving that. So like the way as far as like what material you should use for AstroTurf, it doesn't really matter a huge amount. Like you can use paint for it. I think I've used Rumble for it often. So that's what I'm just gonna use paint for it here. Do I have an AstroTurf texture? Yes, I do. This is from I think it's that really terrible like Wheels of Fire edit I did called Dubai, where I had like different I had some different AstroTurf textures here, which I think was just I don't remember where I got it. I think it was from somewhere another track, which um you know track services migrating around different NR tracks happens a lot. Um 9.5 and then we're gonna go back again and again. I have it. Yeah, I had it right here. So yeah, I like it. I don't remember what track I originally got it from. It might have been Booty Bamba, the track that which I get a lot. I got a lot from there, and the author of that track I know is Spanish, so because that track was modeled after like a beach in Spain where I think I'm guessing the guy lived there or lives. I shouldn't say. I maybe it is past tense. I don't know, but like it was modeled off of that or anyway. So I mean, it's a really good track, and I just like it's like I need a track that's in France. Sorry, so I just did the track relocation thing. So anyway, if you want the curb wider than this, this is like 2/3 of the width of the NR collision box. I think it's 1.5 is the full width one, or maybe it's 2, but something like that. So that's our curbs. For curbs on the outside of a corner, it really depends for me. I try not to have them be launch pads quite like this one, but all right. So question. But let me finish the thought first. But like when it comes to like curbs on the outside, it's really more like I'll try not to make them launch pads, but I have done that before, more because I think it's funny rather than anything else. So question, I start to close up the lines like at the end of the curve, I'll make the line just blend into the track edge like a triangle. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. So some curbs do that. Yeah, you can have like the actual sections blend into the like kind of either blend forwards or blend backwards. Like you can, and even have the curb kind of migrate inwards, like this. Like you can do that. Sometimes it'll be a little janky. I mean, but like also if you have like a bunch of X sections like that merge at some point, you better be ready for a landmine curb, because that's kind of how you get those. Because at Duluth, which is the first track I did mostly from scratch, I do say mostly because I traced over an existing track, and rebuilt it from the ground, and rebuilt it and remodeled it. But I have a curb like that there where it's all points are meeting. There's like 3 X sections meeting at one point like this. And yeah, cars tend to explode when they hit it. So I don't do that, kind of because I learned from that. So I'm gonna just have this go to about 6, 7, 5. Like, so you can do that. Take it all the way to the paint line. Yeah, you'd have oh, I think I know what you're talking about. You'd want to probably do something like this, where you have all the sections end, and then I just split it right after this again. So insert something a bit more like that. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a bit more like this. This isn't gonna be perfect material usage, but we'll make do. Oh wait, crap. Would end up looking a bit more like a bit more like that. Yeah, you can do that also, but all the X sections aren't meeting like exactly at that point, so they won't like just that's mostly for the reasons I just mentioned about the car going kaboom. But yeah, I usually don't do that. More just so that you know where the section ends. Or where the rumble strip begins and stuff. And I'm going to just wrap that in over here. I mean, I could, but I think I'm just going to have this go, what was it, 6.8? 6.8 something. Yep. Yep. Yeah, X sections and F sections don't like you can have them overlap kinda. Is it a good idea though? No. You can do it. Is it a good idea? It depends. I have the X sections like wedded into the edge of the lines here, which that's something I do just kind of as a habit, and that's kind of one thing I'm trying to get across is like a lot of my general habits here, and which also goes into a lot of the pitfalls that I run into as well. So we've added elevation. We've added a couple like what would be a Marshall post. Another one, even though like those weren't originally, that wasn't originally the plan, but this is probably about where they'd be anyway. I'm just gonna do a far wall W or wall L. Nope. I sometimes forget which is which. It's okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I try not to like have them directly crossing over each other, but I will have them parallel to each other a lot, which is I have them parallel here, but crossing over, yeah, I don't do that. Like you can't really have them cross over that much anyway. Like which is oh yeah, I knew that was gonna be a problem. Yep. Nope. I'm looking for Trackside. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna get into this stuff. I didn't last time. So surface types. If you ever wonder what material everything is, you can go into this and you can see real quick. You can see this light green is grass, white is paint, this gray is asphalt. Those are walls. The other gray is concrete. Like blue is water. The sand is like yellow. Yeah, it's like the tan color right here. Dirt has its own color. Train tracks have their own color. And if you're wondering what train tracks are, it's basically just a copy of rumble strips. It has the same basic effect. So I'm gonna track surface decal editing. Oh, this is gonna be messed up again too, but we'll see. No, this doesn't want to cooperate. So I'm just gonna save again. I should have just done another one, but oh yeah, I'm gonna need to do this. Take this out. So what track surface decals do we have? We have, I think, grid. We have the one like grease stain, which is somewhere. I don't really care where it is. I would probably, oh yeah, it's gonna be 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go up here, find fluid grime 4. Whoops. What was it? Grid, just regular old grid, I think, right up here. And like again, this might seem like it's like janky and like I'm copying some stuff up. But again, this is gonna come. Some of this is gonna come back into play when I start doing make dat to everything here. Oh, there's one object I probably should add before I and this is gonna be in the shared folder. These are going to be in shared, so we're gonna look for. Oh, I know. I have to get. Oh, that's right. I have to get this guy out of. Yeah, it was gonna add the series flagger, which is something that you need in order for like the green flags and black flags to show up. But yeah, I'll just get him. I'm gonna borrow him from here. Series flagger comes with a bunch of or it's the flaggers thing. Hang on. It's flag. It starts with an F. That's right. No, I still have to get him out. Series flagger is one of the MIPs I need for it. Flagger, flag red, flag checkered. think stop go is another one. I'm just gonna double check, and I'm gonna use 3D SimEd. If you said you can use the background map as an in-game map, is that used as a trackside decal? So things that the background map doesn't matter. That's sandbox only. What other MIPS do I need for this guy? Because the series flagger is everywhere. Okay, he just needs. I think he needs something. I think there's other ones he needs, but okay. The pit guy I know has stop go that he needs. Yeah, I know this does look pretty funny. Flag red, and I think the other one has stop go. Yeah, this is the old Master Cup flag, man. Okay, I think that's all of them. That's all the stuff that I need for those. Does it matter where the flagman is? No, it doesn't. You can put this guy way over here, but as long as he's on the track somewhere, it'll still work. Now I'm gonna go back to the pit lane real quick, because we're gonna do something in the track I before we call it a day. But I want to just put this guy at the end because this is, I think that's the pit entry guy, or is it the other guy? I'm pretty sure it's the other guy that goes there. And this guy is going to go, we haven't really even like drawn the asphalt turn to do pit in, but I'll just do that real quick. But I kind of wanted to sort of wrap things up for today. Oh yeah, you might find it to be a good idea to have like the wall when entering the pits to kind of move out and so that the car in last place or whoever has the last pit stall isn't in the middle of a firing line essentially. But this can be changed later based on the needs of the track. And then when I mean needs of the track, I mean where the last pit stall actually is. Actually untie that, move that here. 05. 05, there we go. Like this pit entry line should probably go a bit further back. But again, that's going to depend on a few other details, and it's going to be a lot of where the last pit stall is going to be the main determining factor there. No, we do not want to detach segment. Oh crap! I wanted to. Oh yeah, you can't mark. Yeah, if you mark something as Euclidean, it can't go through an X section either. Crap! I wanted to. Yeah. I wanted to put it over here. This is of course this is mostly just so that the car in last is not in, as I mentioned, in the middle of a now apron near pits is it's I think the it's necessary for like when the AI are peeling off onto the pit lane, and particularly on like the start of the race for rolling starts. You can do standing starts in NR. I've done them before with a lot of with some tracks I put out. This should not be pit stall. It should be apron near pits. But you can have them. The thing with doing them though is they do look a little bit weird. I'm not gonna pretend that they don't. I'm gonna make these white because I feel like it. I'm gonna make them match me. So okay. Yeah, this guy is not wanting to play nice to me today, so that's fine. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into the track ionite for this track. Now comes something that's kind of annoying. We're gonna try to find where we can put all 48 of our pit stalls, and I say 48 because the most number of cars that can be on an NR track is 47. One human, 46 AI, and then the 48th car is the pace car. That one, the pace car can be in other slightly different positions. So, why am I doing this this part now? Because well, where the last pit stall is gonna will like affect a bunch of other things. And also, if we want to have an area that goes behind... Oh, actually, I should do that right now. Now's a good time for that, actually. It's actually a great time. So we're gonna let's have an opening in the pits where we can go behind the wall and, you know, fuck around and whatever. So the good thing about these textures here, you notice there's this seam in the wall right here. That's a good barometer. It's gonna start. That's where the end of our opening is gonna be. Where's the start of our opening gonna be? Right here sounds good. I mean, that'd be 6 meters wide. It'd be a little bit hard for a car to fit through sideways on a wrecker, but if we want to really make sure, then we can just, you know, have that be almost 11. So we got a lot of space in the pits. Let's just do that, and we just delete that and have this marked as pit road. And then just fill in this. And we could have this just be pit road, asphalt. Where is our asphalt texture? My brain is deteriorating. Oh yeah, it was this. Actually, those could have stayed there. It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, it was 2. Okay. So, you know, I'm just gonna just put 12 there. Just no real reason. It really doesn't make a bit of difference. Even though this is usually concrete. Actually, yeah, this is usually concrete. Yeah, I think actually no, I'm gonna leave that asphalt. If you want to change it, go right ahead. I will not stop you. And then this. Okay. So we have our area we can drive behind the wall, and we can, you know, I don't know, move some of the, like, move these back, and, you know, you can put some fun things back there, like, this is gonna be a bit tricky to move some of these back because of where if you want to make this, like, you want to have more room to move it back further here, then we can just split this here, and make our lives a lot easier. I'm just gonna double check something. Wire fence, right. Okay. Right here. Alright, I'm gonna stump for my boy here. Rents Defense is on Twitch. Go, if you don't follow him, go do it. Does a lot of iRacing streams, real good guy. We go back a real long ways. So if he gives you crap, you know, I can hammer some sense into him. So if we have, so actually this, yeah, this is a good time to do like some texture, some additional texture things on the walls. So we have, now you see texture segment 1. There's something neat you can do with walls. You can have texture segments on walls. We're gonna have 3, right? And it has the start. The start point is relative to the start point of the beginning of the segment. So we're gonna go back to. This is gonna be the last. This is gonna be last. Right wall R. Two, we're gonna have top wall T. Again, as usual, left. Move that back to wall R. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make Rentz's name show up. I gotta put these back on again. But we're gonna make Rentz's name there show up across the entirety of the wall. Like, you can just cut this up into different segments, but you don't need to with by doing it this way. This only applies to walls, and it's nice because you can do it just in only, you know, if you only need to have like a wall sponsor or something like that, you can just do it in that one area. So if I just put in like 99 here, it's obviously not gonna go 99 meters. It's just gonna go to, you know, 10, you know, or 0.1 meters before the end. So we're just gonna line that up. Uh, 885. 884. Okay, we're gonna do that. Uh-huh. So you see, we have our wall sponsor now. And when I mean wall sponsor, I mean go follow him on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RentsTheFence. He didn't pay me to say that. I'm just I'm actually probably paying him to say that. So because I've been following him for so long. Okay, so let's go back to doing what I was about to do, which is set stuff in the pit lane. The logo is not transparent. It's actually part of a wall text. It's actually on the wall texture. No, it's on the wall. Like there's a separate wall texture for that has it on there. I'll show you in just a second. This is being annoying. Okay, I have WinMip open because of course I did. So I'm just gonna show that like that the wall sponsor isn't transparent. So we're gonna go into track map, wall RTFR, which is just sort by name. RTFR. This is what that looks like. See? You don't need priority at 19. I just did that because I felt like it. So yeah, that's actually like a whole separate wall texture. Okay, now back to doing what I was originally going to do before I got sidetracked, which is pit lane stuff. So if now that we have this huge gap here, I'm gonna move the we have this on the smaller display. Oh, okay, good. So we have this like gap here in the pits. You know, this like okay, no pit stalls here. Going by like the like kind of semi-ground rule I had earlier about how many cars can be fit in one space. I'd say about right in here we could theoretically, since this segment is 346 meters, we could put almost the entire field in just that first half of the pits, and which means this whole all this back here, we can put almost 36 back here if we want to give them all 10-meter stalls. Either way, we got plenty of breathing room. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have most of the pit stalls be up here up to a certain point, right? So I think about about 300 or so is where I'm gonna have like the actual last stall be. So not quite a turn one, but kind of close. I'm just gonna split segment here. Well, yeah. Also because we can have pit exit be like right in front of it, so, and have the pace car stall be up there too. That's just, of course, now I gotta copy some more bullshit forwards, but because this is dumb, and because this is the single most annoying sandbox bug. Quirk, what have you, feature. And well, yeah, right now this is all going to be still technically in the pit lane. We can fix. This can be, amended fixed at a later, later time. I think what I will do though is mark that. Was it 15 or 0.25? 0.5. And what did this segment, what was that point? 302.12. I don't care where I know it looked like it disappeared, but remember what I said earlier about like it doesn't matter where it says where like it says it is, just like it's the coordinates down here that matter the most. So I'm gonna probably sneeze in just a second. Nope. No, I'm not. I hate that. Hate it. Okay, so with that being said, with that being at 302.12, some shit like that. So the last, so we're gonna go into like pit stalls. All right, stalls. Here we go. Actually, these aren't all far off from where they're about. They probably would be anyways. Okay, so this is going to be where this is how far ahead of the start finish line they are. This one is how far to the left or right, in which case they're all going to be to the left. And then this one is rotation, which they're all going to be 0. If we have a 300, that's going to be, I think, about where the center of the stall is going to be. So I'm just going to back that up to, I'm going to, 298. So now here's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to give everyone 10 meters of space. I usually do 12, but for the sake of simplicity here, I'm going to do 10. I'm just making the last number here 8 to save a little bit of time here. It'll probably go right about back to here anyway. You can give them less room than this, however, I would not advise it. Because pit lane collisions are annoying, to say the least. Okay, so now after stall 29, we have our gap right here, which means we'll just resume right back around. Okay, so you may also notice there's a temptation to go to negative numbers here. Don't do that. They will work, but when you go into replay view, it's gonna mess up where all the pit boxes are gonna be like on top of each other on the start finish line. It looks like shit, so don't do it. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. I'm gonna find a 27, 26. Okay, good enough. Uh, 26, 96. I'm just gonna finish typing these in, and then I'm gonna put the pace car down. So 2566 is where our first pit stall is gonna be, which is gonna be right about there. Which that is a lot of space to where we can maybe get rid of this and then have have pit entry here be a little bit cleaner. And where someone could just peel off on the main straightaway, or if you want to back all of them up and you know, maybe move the head of the pit lane back further, that's fine too. But you know, just for the time being, we'll have it organized as such. Okay, so now what I think I'm gonna do is whoops, I'm gonna delete that. I think this is probably going on longer than the previous stream has, but what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna or maybe it didn't, I don't know. I'm just gonna load TSO so I can see everything in 3D SimEd. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for missing objects and missing textures because I want this thing to not explode when I fire it up in game. Okay, 3D SimEd doesn't think there's anything missing. That doesn't mean that's necessarily true, but it usually means it's fine. Okay, so since my window isn't, or my display capture isn't centered, just give me a second here. We'll see if what we have loads. And it does. And this is, oh right, because the other coordinate didn't get changed. I need to fix that. And there's a texture there that's messed up. So you can see how now. So now one thing you're gonna probably notice is now things that looked a lot wider when we were in sandbox. Once you see him in game, doesn't look as wide as you might have thought originally. I gotta fix where that stall is because I didn't change the second column and I should have. I'm gonna just go out. I have steering assistance on to 1% right now. Here's our pit exit line. That's not really a thing. Here's the ambulance that I put down earlier. Here's that downhill section. One thing I wanted to get into, but it's something that Chrissy already figured out, but this is more for everyone else that would be watching this later, is how I would do chicanes. Because there is a way that most tracks do it, which is wrong, and then there is a right way to do it, which I've seen Valkenburg do, and I think both editions of Surfer's Paradise do it the right way also. While this track is probably not great for it, we're probably still going to do it. Probably still going to do it anyway. Okay, going uphill. Everything so far with the elevation's fine. I just didn't hit the curb. There's the Rents decal. And I probably could have added a sand pit on the outside of the first corner, but I didn't. And maybe I could have added, maybe could have banked that a little bit more too. I also might scale this track up a little bit, which scaling doesn't make it wider, but it does make it longer. Because something that I've noticed every time I draw stuff, like draw a track in NR or something like that in Sandbox, is things will always look larger than they really are until than they really are. Even if my brain kind of understands like how much they should be conceptually, it's not until I actually see it like on track that I realize, oh, that's how big it actually is. But yeah, this track is, you know, so far coming okay. I think maybe scaling it up just like a slight scale would really help, and I might do that. But the only thing I'd probably need to do is afterwards is fix some minor things. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. I think I will scale this up by a tick, which it'll affect. Now when you scale it, it does affect like everything else that like you've done like previously, which means there's a couple things I'd have to realign, but that's okay. I don't mind. There's some of them I don't mind doing them again, because you know, done them so many times. You know what's one more, right? So. Yeah. Yeah, Singapore is a big one. Yeah. Scaling, yeah, Singapore's a track though that because there's like so much out there, like I'd just probably try to get the actual measurements. And like there are tracks where you can get that. There's this one like little club circuit in like Michigan somewhere where like their official website has like all the actual elevation data like there for you in case you it's literally like begging you someone to make it and mod it into a game. I've thought about it because it's like the data is really easily readable. So um so I'm just gonna save this, and then I'm gonna save again, and then I'm gonna scale it up by just a tick more. I think I did it last time also. I'm gonna have to do like that one wall with Rentz's name on again, and I'll just do that real quick. What do you say, like 105? No, not 10. Yeah, 105.55. 2892. Oh, 2892 on the dot. All right. And I'm not gonna have to move any of the pit stalls because those are before the start finish line. It's the ones afterwards that I would have to move those. But I'm gonna have to move all these anyway because like it to some degree anyway. So 27.5. You know what? Hang on a second. Notepad Plus to the rescue. I don't know why I was doing it with regular Notepad. I think that's just forced a habit. Yeah, it might be okay. It should be. Yeah, I'd probably want to... What do I'd probably actually... That might be too far out. And that 21's probably better. Now, there's been some people might want to know like can you have pit stalls be out of order? Yeah, you technically yes, you can. But stall 0 I think needs to be first. And I don't think stall 40 like 47 or whatever needs to be at the back, or 46 needs to be at the back, but I think it's the last declared one has to be like the highest number stall I think has to be last. I am pretty sure because otherwise you get some wacky wacky shit happens. It's gonna change the Okay, so before we go, I'm just gonna realign this. I'd probably want to do that for the wall at the start first. I always find something else. Oh, wait. No. I'll just do it with this and I'll line this up because I just remembered, because I had to move all the other stalls, then yeah, I could probably just line this up and then, or fix this. And I know that this is shorter. I'm gonna opt to not care. I do draw the line at like what's excessive, which means I do actually have a point where it is, you know, a bit much. Oh, this is easy. There you go. Uh, 2716 is gonna be, yeah, that'll be. So yeah, we got some extra space to play with. If we want to have like a chicane pit entry, we can do that at a later time. That might be a good thing to begin the next one off. So of course I make this longer, and I probably said I was going to start wrapping it up about an hour ago. So, you know, just gonna delete that, copy, paste. And I'll probably be uploading this again, where as far as we got here, but I'm gonna probably take a couple things out of this folder because there's some shit in here that is way bigger than it needs to be that we're not using. Like that. We're not using that. I'm gonna take it out of here too, because those are, we don't need those. And I'm going to take the pit center thing out here because I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to add to... So just when I upload this to attach this to the description, but before I do that, we're going to take a quick go around the track again. Just to make sure that the pit stalls are in the right spot. Okay, that might have been 21, might have been a bit too far over to the right, but whatever. Or too far over to the left, rather. We need it to be further right. Oh yeah, and since the object placement got a little bit messed up for the ambulance because those don't scale with the track. Their positioning doesn't move with the track. It got moved also, but that's fine. That can be fixed early next time also. Another curb right here would probably be okay on the inside. Yeah, floating above the track. Yeah, there was the one that I put earlier. Yeah. Hey, Tristan. You caught me right at the end here. Yeah, the ambulance is they're referencing the one that's in your shared folder, so we don't need doesn't need to be in the whoops. I might have to stick it in the one in the shared folder that's in the download, but that'll be the only thing there. Oh, there's a way to do those, but you'd have to cut a lot more sections apart, and I don't want to do that, so fuck that. I'm sticking with those. But like we could do those at some other time, so yep. I don't know how many more of these like videos I'll do, or how far I'll even get with this track. I might just like at some point. I think it probably cameras and ref lap are probably where I'll stop with it. Enough to get so that the AI runs on it. But as you can see so far, yeah. Yeah, and it'll be enough to get like the AI working on it, and like maybe a couple like your basic like some more like really basic objects, but nothing too spectacular. Yeah, for anyone still watching this now, hope that this kind of gives you an insight of like how much can go into a track, and that sometimes, you know, it's not as much as sometimes it really isn't as much as you think it is. It's a lot of it's you know, kind of tedious, but you know, it's okay. It do be like that sometimes. Yeah, so here we go. I'm gonna upload how far we got today. What's today's date? The 12th. Okay. So I'm gonna, and then I think I'll attach this to the description. So thank you all for tuning in. And thank every one of you for watching, and I think we'll have a part 3 at some point, and I think I might start that one with like some cleanup in the pits and like a little and like some minor stuff like that. But all right, y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening, weekend, what have you, and goodbye.